Okay, so we have Deontay Wilder once again has a problem with Iron Mike Tyson. Here in this article, Deontay Wilder mentions how he knew some people that was sitting around Mike Tyson as the fight was going on with him and Luis Ortiz. And it was heard that Mike Tyson gave him some kind of a compliment. And he wishes that Mike Tyson would go public with that compliment. And the crazy thing about this is, Deontay Wilder has often said that Mike Tyson hasn't fought anybody. His career was smoke and mirrors, and that he would also beat Mike Tyson. Yet this is the same man that he wished would go public about supposedly giving him some kind of a compliment. All right. Now, the problem with Deontay Wilder thinking this way, besides it just being petty and immature, the problem with him thinking this way is he wants Mike Tyson to do what his resume should do for him. Okay? See, you're looking desperate for validation from a man who you said out your own mouth really didn't fight anybody. So why would his word or what he has to say, how could that help you any? That's because Deontay Wilder recognizes that Mike Tyson's validation or Mike Tyson giving him a compliment would make him seem to be something that he has tried hard to be, but just is not. You want this man's validation because of his boxing resume, his boxing history, and the effect that he has left on the sport. Mike Tyson is bigger than life. Mike Tyson is currently a living legend. That's not up for debate. It's a living legend. And yet you took this so-called living legend and try to drag his name and his career through the mud, all because he spoke on what everybody knows. And that is the lack of Deontay Wilder fighting any real competition. That's the problem with this whole scenario. Okay? The reason why he's so big on what Mike Tyson has to say, because Mike Tyson, him giving him praise, would somehow smooth over the critics that have said stuff about Deontay Wilder due to his lack of fighting competition. Now, another area that Deontay Wilder falls into a dark plunge is simply this. Tyson Fury addressed Deontay Wilder's lack of competition throughout the entire press conference from their first fight. That was the talking point of what Tyson Fury had to say. The man's only had 3 fights. He's only had 3 real fights. He hasn't fought anybody. Everybody else he has fought bums. Tyson Fury repeatedly said this. He repeatedly tweets Bum City. He repeatedly called him a bum. Notice, not one time during that entire press conference ordeal up until the fight, not one time did Deontay Wilder address what Tyson Fury was saying about his resume. Did anybody notice that? Not one time. This man has repeatedly said you haven't fought anybody and you have fought bums. Deontay Wilder never had a rebuttal. Go back and watch the footage. Anytime Tyson Fury brung it up, what was Deontay Wilder's response? There was not one. He was silent. Not even for one moment or 1 second could he even pretend or front and act like what Tyson Fury was saying was false and not true. He did not provide a different way of looking at his resume and his career or anything. He just sat there chewing on his nuts. That's it. He openly left the window open for everybody to know, yes, I fought bums. Because not one time did he have a defense for what Tyson Fury was saying, and that's all he was saying. That and the fact that nobody knows him in the United States. Nobody knows him. Now, me personally, I don't have a problem with a career that's 70% authentic and 30% theatrical. You know, I don't mind a career like that. I know some of this stuff is made up. I know some of this stuff is to make you look better than what you really are. But some percentage has to be real, you know? And that was my biggest problem with Triple G and Deontay Wilder. Some of it has to be real at some point in time. The point is, Deontay Wilder has been operating on a 70% theatrical, fictitious, made up, make-believe career and resume. And I'm reluctant to say only 30% has been real because it's actually lesser than that. More like 10% has only been real. Because the problem with Deontay Wilder fanboys, and nothing wrong with being a fan, the problem with Deontay Wilder's fanboys is they have a huge issue that they're going to have to fill the gap with some kind of answers, because there is some glaring contradictions, weaknesses, and stuff that you just have to put your finger on because it's big as a beach ball, so there's no way that you miss it. What I mean by that is there's a big issue with somebody who has as many knockouts as Deontay Wilder, yet does not have the fan base or the numbers to support the phenomenon of his power. There's a glaring issue right there, and something is off. It stands out to you. You know, it's got to stand out to you. How do you have a man that's supposed to be known as the biggest puncher since who, what, did, what, and where, and yet he cannot rake in the views or the revenue? How is that possible? See, Mike Tyson was supposedly a man that was built off of knockouts. You know what I'm saying? Because that's all anybody wants to see. Wilder says is knockouts, 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 knockouts. And for the most part, he's kind of correct. But his career is a testament to say that that's not true. Okay? Because Deontay Wilder has knockouts after knockouts after knockouts after knockouts. Yet it does not have the Mike Tyson effect. Why? Why? If it was really about just knocking somebody out, then he should easily have the reputation that and be revered like Mike Tyson was. Yet it's not present. It goes to show you that who you knock out also counts. Okay? Now, give and take, a lot of people, a lot of fighters that Mike Tyson may have knocked out, people don't know. You know, people compare Deontay Wilder to Mike Tyson, and I've never seen Deontay Wilder knock somebody out with the very first punch he threw in the first round, period. I've seen Mike Tyson knock a man out with the very first punch that he threw in the first round, period. He doesn't have a faster KO than Mike Tyson. Period. All that power, he doesn't have the fastest KO than Mike Tyson. Okay? Mike Tyson is a phenomenon for another reason all to itself. You think it's power. You think it's this. You think it's that. No, it's the culmination of the man, period. The persona, the haircut, the voice, the viciousness, and most importantly, the calculation of Mike Tyson's punch out. Okay? It was the calculation in which he moved. Mike Tyson was not no fool in that ring. Everything was strategized and everything was strategic. From him setting up his punches to doing the southpaw switch, everything was strategic and it was beautiful. Okay? That's another thing. It was beautiful. Go back and look at Deontay Wilder's punch highlights. Okay? The majority of the punches that he get away with, he's not supposed to get away with. Hits people on the back of the head, hits them with his elbow, hits them with an open fist. I did a video on Deontay Wilder. It's called was Luis Ortiz right about, Deontay Wilder's criminal activity in the ring? It's only can be viewed if you're not in the United States. So people over in the UK and people over in other countries, they can view it. This is the video right here. Okay. So people in America, you can't view this, but people outside America, you can view it. Go watch that video and see how much illegal activity went on in the Luis Ortiz, Deontay Wilder fight, the first one. Go back and look at it. It's downright criminal. You know what I'm saying? Some people write me and said, I don't even know how I missed this. You know what I'm saying? I'm amazed that I didn't catch none of this. You know what I'm saying? It's different when somebody's pointing it out and they slow it down for you in slow motion and you're able to see all the illegal blows that was landed on Luis Ortiz. It's actually mind-boggling that he got away with that. But needing a Mike Tyson to say something about you in public, the reason why you need that validation from that man is because you don't have the body of work which can represent you in the proper light. Nobody else needs to say a compliment about somebody in public for them to feel some kind of way. Name me one other boxer who's requesting that the great boxers of yesteryear should come out and give them a public compliment instead of saying it behind closed doors. And number one, it's not even for Deontay Wilder to take it and run with. He was sitting there just like everybody else. Do you know how much stuff that we say when we think we're to ourselves? Yet he want to paint it like it was something sinister and how he doesn't want to give him credit. He was just sitting there and enjoying the fight. And because somebody was ear hustling or listening to Mike Tyson say, oh, he said something good about him. He said something that they ran all the way back to Deontay Wilder and said, hey, I was sitting next to Mike Tyson and guess what he said? He gave you a compliment. That should show how out of whack your career is. The fact that you have stooped down to the desperate levels of being upset with somebody because they were sitting there enjoying your fight and said something in passing thought. And one of your fanboys or whoever ran back to you just to tell you this one compliment he may have gave you. Oh, he hits hard. Like that's something new. And yet you're going to get on these media outlets and express basically, number one, you want to compliment for a person that you're spitting on in the same article, but you want him to say something good about you, but yet tried to make it seem like he's a petty man. He was honest about you and he was honest about your career. And had you have taken your career as half as serious as Anthony Joshua or anybody else that's been in the situation that you have been, you would not be clinging on to desperate validations of Mike Tyson. Your resume would speak for itself, and your body of work would speak for itself. In return, you can get the love, you can get the notoriety and the revenue that Mike Tyson once had. Won't be as big as him because you're just not as loved. You're not a lovable character like that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody sees a fool and somebody who really doesn't like boxing and somebody who's only in boxing from a financial standpoint, which is nothing wrong with it. But at some point, you should like the sport that you gave so much of your life into, because nobody wants to hear about how you complain about training all the time. Nobody wants to hear about how acting is your passion and not boxing. Nobody wants to hear about that. But yet you think you have the right to say you would beat down a Joe Louis, you would beat down a Mike Tyson, and any other person who may differ in the way they view you and your resume and your career. Anyways, that's just my thoughts on it. Leave your thoughts in the comments section. Bruce Vane, I'm out.